What's up, back with another one. Today we're diving into Joe Budden's take on Elliot Wilson's podcast ending. Check this clip out.
Can you imagine a low-cut comb over with dreads in the back? That's what that man had.
I know somebody got it.
This probably your homie. He look like he from Jersey.
Yo, don't
sound like you from Jersey.
Don't do that.
Wow, Joe, what you got queued up for us, man?
Could never guess.
I can't even imagine.
I wonder. Rock on getting you out of here.
Oh, yeah. That's pleasing.
Okay. So the Bigger Picture Podcast, as we knew it, is no longer. The as we knew it is funny, tricky words.
Sounds like a remix
It's
coming.
tricky words.
Yeah.
It sounds like a rebrand is coming. It sounds like you're doing to get some eyes on you. But as I understand it, their deal with Up Rocks has come to an end. Or Up Rocks told them to get the out of here. Either way, it's no longer an Up Rocks thing. So even if they continue to pod independently, which I don't know if they will, I haven't spoken to any of them, their pod is over in connection to who was distributing it. Sad day.
I hope that they do decide to rebrand somewhere else. I enjoyed that show.
I enjoyed the three of them. I don't really care if they're together or not. Head with Gina Views is awesome.
True.
Gina the sh-
I love
Jeremy Heck, when he came here, his significant other was like with him in terms of the business and getting him info and getting him right. So I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah.
And Elliot's been around for ages, so I think he'll also be fine. I didn't really give a fuck about Up Rocks. Actually, to my surprise, I didn't know that their show was birthed around the Kendrick and Drake beef. I'm not talking about the timing,
right?
But I didn't know that. The backdrop, they said, was a combination of Toronto and LA. I never knew that. Up Rocks probably paid them to just cover the Drake and Kendrick, three great people to do it. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I will miss the show if it doesn't come back. I do know that.
I gave my podcast talk last podcast, but I think that most of the podcasts are done. I think if you're not a top podcast, you're done.
Bro, yeah.
The bubble's clearly
the bubble been over.
Left and right.
If you're not a top, if you're not at the top of the top of the top of this thing, then I think you're done.
Why?
People with names, people without names, huh?
Why do you say that?
Because where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from right now? Who is looking to pump millions and multi-millions and all this money into podcasting? What they're going to do is go pull up numbers. It ain't often that they have a pulse on what's going on. They're going to go look at numbers. Those numbers are going to be the top 20 to 30, sometimes top 5. Like, they're going to pull up the top. That's who they're going to do business with. The people that can actually impact business. I'm not talking about y'all with your Stitched ads and the old McDonald's ads, the old Bevel ads. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the big boys.
I see.
I'm talking about the big boys and the big business.
Got you.
Like whatever pods just ended up on Netflix, from Spotify, like this big business going on still. Podcasting is still a huge business. They just have figured out who's a major player in it and who ain't.
Are they still running around, like basically, how can I say it, granting big names new podcasts? Because remember that was a thing before.
No, I don't see that.
But I'm saying, I'm talking about the new, you said new players trying to jump in and dump a bunch of money into it. Is that their plan, or is it we going already?
No, they're going to already. We've seen the big boom you talking about is when people, they was just throwing money at anybody.
Yeah, if you had a name, they would throw some money out there.
It's over for that. They've gotten wiser. They got analytics.
They took their L's.
They robbed who they needed to rob. They the licensing deals that they did, they took all the data from you. You're useless now. Like it's a different ballgame. So you got to be at the top of the top to get any business done. I don't think that Elliot Head and Jeremy were at the tippity top.
Man, Joe is really breaking down how the game's changed. Only the top shows get the real deals now.
Of anything. And that's why I don't do deals like that. Because now look what you did. You took a check from Up Rocks at the peak of hip hop. Because I think everybody did great during Kendrick and Drake's
Of course.
beef. I think everybody
outside of content creators,
So if
everybody ate off of that.
All right, so if you want to, well, I'll speak for me. I like to ride the peaks and valleys of hip hop. So when there's a spike, it comes back to me and not Uproxx. So now Uproxx saw the spike. They got all the data. They figured out what was what, and now they want absolutely nothing to do with you. They gave you what? They gave you shorts.
But do you think from what I see, the consistency of a bunch of podcasts, not even talking about Elliot and them, and then a lot of these don't be compelling. So I think that's something that we offer. Yo, it could be a news week. We just did 2 hours. We there on 2 hours, and we ain't talking about half the shit on the board.
Just we're the best in the world.
I know. So this is my point. What I'm saying is, I think that that's lacking everywhere else, and I think when you got 100 talking about the same exact content every day, it's going to get. You know what I mean? Like this is like.
Yeah, but there's too many podcasts for that, right? Like, I don't want you to get stuck to your algorithm. When you pull up the top 20 and 30 and 40,
It's not hip hop.
that's what I'm talking about.
It ain't none of that at all.
And that's what I was talking about in our demo. I wasn't even talking about the other.
Oh, our demo's over. It's us. We don't have. That's why I keep fighting that our demo. That's not our demo.
True.
That ain't our demo at all.
I agree with
our demo, we banging.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
We banging with these. So
I agree with that.
Yeah, like the people in this hemisphere.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have much in common.
And then the big names have proven not to generate revenue.
The big name, the big name. Well, I'm talking about the podcasts that are impactful.
He wasn't talking. He was talking about.
Oh no, that's
remember when they gave
money to
Obama's a
Obama,
podcast.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah. Anybody.
No.
Joe Budden shared his thoughts on the ending of Elliot Wilson's Bigger Picture podcast on UPROS, reflecting on the broader realities of the podcast industry today. He started by acknowledging that the podcast, as it was known on UPROS, has officially ended, but he left room for the possibility that the hosts could rebrand or continue independently elsewhere. Joe expressed respect and admiration for Elliot, DJ Head, and Jeremy Heck, emphasizing that they are talented and hardworking individuals who will likely bounce back from this change. He explained that UPROS, like many big media distributors, has shifted its focus toward podcasts that generate substantial business impact, meaning only shows with proven audiences and consistent engagement are likely to receive serious deals. Joe noted that during the height of the Kendrick versus Drake discussions, the hosts were able to generate spikes in attention, but once UPROS analyzed the data, they decided to move on, prioritizing other top-performing podcasts. He reflected on the industry trend of giving large investments to new podcasts simply for experimentation, calling it a bubble that has now burst, as companies have become more data-driven and cautious with funding. Joe contrasted this with his own philosophy, noting that he prefers riding the natural peaks and valleys of hip-hop independently, rather than relying on platforms to dictate success.